So thank you very much, Kamal, for taking out time. And this one is a rapid fire round sort of thing, but of course a mindful one, where we would want to know more about Posh. So if someone asks you, what is Posh? What will you say?
Right. So let's begin with where Jisha had left. She was talking about a more inclusive work environment, and that's the first step towards doing away with women specific acts like Porsche. Although we've not reached there yet, we are a long way to that. So, what Jisha was talking about was gender neutral environment for people. So we are looking at a gender neutral society where each human being, each person is given an importance basis their strengths and weaknesses irrespective of the gender. It's not, gender does not come in play. So that's what many organizations are trying to move into: a gender neutral society, a gender neutral workplace, a gender neutral corporate culture. However, there are only a handful of organizations that are able to do so. And yes, we are all, the intent is always there, but have we reached there? Well, not yet.
Yeah,
All right.
just like
So
Sulba said that as much as we would all want to be gender neutral, there has to be a space for women specifics here.
exactly.
At least
So
as of now, yeah.
yes, absolutely. We're not reached there. That's what I said. We are a long way. That's a long road ahead. So till the time we reach there, we need something like POSH. And what does POSH stand for? POSH is Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Workplace. It's an act which was there in 2013. Although we had ratified it through CEDAW in 1979, which was the Convention of Equal Opportunity for Women, and even the Constitution of India talks about right to equality and no, right to equality and no bias based on gender, sex, caste, creed, or culture. So basically, if we are not able to put POSH in place, or we are not able to respect women for the work that they are doing, we are also breaching their constitutional right to that extent. So that's how POSH came into play, that this is a constitutional right, and women need a fair space, right? So that's why the need of POSH was felt, and that is why POSH came into picture, to support, help women to not be fearful in voicing their issues. Because the best part about POSH law is that there is a clause which talks about confidentiality. If a complaint is filed, then as an IC, earlier it used to be Internal Complaints Committee. In 2018, there was a clause which said you can call it IC, which is Internal Committee. Now it has changed to IC only. All right. So the IC has this rule, or there is an applicability that if you do not conform to confidentiality, then you will be removed from the council or the committee. All right. So that is one big thing which helps women to come and speak up, because they know that it will not become a thing for gossip in the organization. People
So
will
if
not.
I have to, yeah, so if I have to in general ask, what is Posh? What do you say? I mean, I hear the background, but still, like, for a novice, what is Posh? Why should
So
I go to
POSH.
Posh? When can I go to Posh?
All right. So POSH is the law which is there to help women if they are sexually harassed at the workplace. It's as simple as that. Now, but there is a definition to sexual harassment which also needs to be taken care of when we are looking at that. Sexual harassment, as per POSH, is when somebody passes a lewd remark, when somebody is trying to ask for sexual favors, when they make colored remarks. So all these things are part of sexual harassment, right? So for example, let me take an example here and explain, so that it is easier for everybody to relate to. Now suppose if I am working in an organization, and one fine day my boss tells me, Kamal, let's go out for dinner. So, and I say, no, I don't want to go out for dinner, thank you so much for asking, I don't wish to go, and the matter is closed. And tomorrow if I go and say, he asked me that, I felt uncomfortable, and I'm going to file a sexual harassment case, will that be sexual harassment? Certainly not. Certainly not. All right. However, if after my saying no that day, the next day again the boss tells me, come on, why don't you come? What is the big deal with you? You are so petty in your mind. It's just a dinner. Why are you throwing so many tantrums around it? Then will it become posh? Yes, then it becomes posh, because I have clearly stated that I am not interested. However, still that person is pursuing me for it. Then it becomes a sexual harassment case, and then you can actually go approach the IC and file a case against that person.
So there is a question, Kamal. It says,
Yes.
in Indian law, posh is not gender specific. So do you see it can ever reach to, gender specific, irrespective of gender neutral, law? Do you think that?
Posh is a gender specific
Yeah.
law. Posh is a gender specific law, Deepti, and
Sorry,
it comes under.
yeah, I actually wanted to say it is gender
It
specific,
is. It is.
not gender
No.
not
Yeah.
specific.
Yeah.
So do you think at some point in time it becomes, irrelevant of gender? It becomes, inclusive to both. Probably definition can be for men, this is so, and for women and for binaries and all of that.
So
But yeah.
yeah, Deepti, right. Actually, in all my programs that I've conducted for IC empanelment, for IC trainings, for awareness, everybody has asked me that, Kamal, we start with a gender neutral thing. We talk about gender sensitization, and then we move to a special law for women, which is a specific law for women. And we say, let's all be equal and, treat each other equal and all those things. However, as I already said, there is a long road ahead. Everybody has not understood that importance of being gender neutral, or maybe the idea of us being gender neutral hasn't synced in yet. We've not practically been able to follow it, where it will reach a level when we will not need any specific laws for women. However, I would also say that for the posh group that I'm associated with, and a lot of lawyers that I talk to, yes, there are talks in place where inclusion of men in posh is also considered. They are considering it, like LGBTQ also. They are considering transgenders to be part of the posh law, because that could also be, and they can also be the impacted party, right? So yes, those things are in place, and hopefully very soon things may move ahead, but I cannot give you a timeline as per now. But yes, maybe sooner or later we will move to that level where everything comes under, maybe if not within posh, maybe something specific to that then.
Okay, so then the next question is about what should an organization who does not have posh do? How can they establish posh if they want to?
All right,
or,
so
or,
the
or
first.
a group of women, let's say, realizes we don't have posh. Why do we not have posh? And we feel unsafe. How can we establish posh?
Right. So many a times this happens because there is a lack of awareness programs in the organizations. When even if they have a posh committee in place, and posh is a compliance training, any organization with more than 10 employees needs to have an IC and be posh compliant. That's the first rule. All right. The second is, if the organization has less than 10 members, then they can report to the LC, which is the local council, which is the district magistrate's office of that area. Whichever area you are in, you can reach up to the district magistrate's office and look for the local council. If the organization is less than 10 people, if the number of employees in that organization, posh applies to all sectors, irrespective whether it's a medical college, school, not school, school also for adults, and for hospitals, for gyms, for sports area, you name it, it is applicable to every organization across. All right, so that's one aspect. Now what happens is, most of the time that we see, since it is a compliance state training, it's there on papers, it's there for the books, right? It's there to be shown in the reports. However, people are not aware that something like posh exists, or there is an IC that we can approach. Because if you go by the posh rules and the guidebook, it clearly says that you need to put the name of the IC members and how they can be approached in a promiscuous place in your organization. However, that is not happening. So because of that, a lot of women do not know who to approach. So they either go to HR, and HR will try to, what I mean, they will try to wrap up
Cover
the
up.
case, cover up the case. Very true, Sulba. They will try to say forget it or whatever. They will try to, cover that up and say ki move on situation. So in this situation, if you do not get to an IC, or if you do not know where to go, then you have a portal by the name of shebox.nic.in. All right. So you can log on to that portal and you can lodge your complaint. It is a portal by the Ministry of Women and Child Welfare. And the moment that complaint is registered on Shebox, this complaint will be taken care of by the ministry. They will approach the organization and they will ask them where is the IC. If there is an IC in place, they will hand over the case to the IC. If there is no IC, compliance issue will be raised for them and they will ask for an IC and they will take care of that issue case. So that's
Wonderful.
how we can actually reach out also. And that is why where we tell organizations also, because I think there is lack of awareness around it as well, that if you are not making your employees aware about it, then you also stand to be penalized against it. So the penalty can range up from 50,000 to 5 crores. That's the level of penalty that can be given to an organization if they are not POSH compliant. So that's one aspect also, that every organization and all of us, who are here should go and check whether you have an IC in place. If not, you can talk to your HR and you can inform that we need to have an IC. If we have an IC, let's, make our employees more aware that there is an IC in place.
So the next question is from Albert Arul Rajendran. He's asking, what does that mean if a man was sexually harassed by a woman? Can he approach POSH committee?
No, he cannot approach a POSH committee. Let me put it as clear and simple and candidly as that. Because when we talk about POSH, it is a specific law meant for women. And there are 4 factors that we look at when we consider it a POSH complaint. The first is aggrieved woman. So the complainant has to be a woman. If there is no aggrieved women, the first checklist of whether it is a POSH case or not is not fulfilled. So therefore, it will not become a POSH case. The second is a workplace. The third is a working relation. And the fourth is a sexual harassment. If these 4 things are not there in any complaint, then that complaint is not considered as a POSH complaint. It may go to the HR for misconduct, or there could be other company laws in place for that particular organization. However, it will not be a POSH complaint.
Okay. Albert, do you have any other question on that front? Of course, he's shocked that, oh my God, there is no safety for men in this
There should
crazy
be.
world. Yeah.
No, but in this kind of a case, usually then the man can make a complaint first, like she said, rightly to the HR. And if that is not satisfactory, he can actually go to the legal, judiciary and to the file a complaint with the police and all. And those things have happened.
Cool.
You can file a legal FIR.
And so, Kamal, last question is, if someone has to reach out to you to help their organization, for establishing POSH, how can they reach out to you? Or should they reach out to a certain body? I know you already shared the whole thing, but I in particular want to understand how they can reach out to you. What all help you can offer to any organization, any individual?
All right. So you can reach out to me on my LinkedIn, which is Kamal Agarwal, kamal2407@yahoo.com. That's my LinkedIn email ID. You can reach out to me. My number is 9811193108. What all we offer in terms of POSH, we do a complete POSH program, which starts with POSH awareness, training the IC to handle cases, how to deal with complaints, how to do all the paperwork. There are annual reports to be filed. We help you do that. We do a POSH audit. If your organization says we are already a POSH compliant organization, we'll come and sit with you and we'll do a small POSH audit as to whether all the paperwork is in place, whether all the needs have been fulfilled as per the guidelines under POSH. So all those things are part of what we offer. And when it comes to POSH programs, there is a bouquet of programs that we do. There are awareness programs, IC programs, how to do an investigation. That is in itself for the IC, because the IC sends a report, recommendations to the management, and finally it is the management that has to take the call, final call. So how do you do an unbiased inquiry and create an unbiased recommendation report is also what we talk about. So all those things are what we can do and help you with and your organization with. Also, I can also work as an external member with the organization, because each IC needs 4 people in the committee, 3 being from the organization. 1 has to be an external member. That can be somebody like Sulba, who's working closely with women and their rights and who understands POSH or it can be someone like me who has been certified as a Posh enabler. So you have two people to reach out to for external member also.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Kamal. This was perfect and this is really great. And now we know if we need you, how we can reach out to you.
Thank you, Deepti. Thank you so much for asking all the right questions. And I hope if there are any other questions from the audience, we can open that, or otherwise we can move ahead. Thank you so much.